What profession do you think has the most psychopaths? Surgeons. Purely judging by my dad. Lol. In my experience, the kitchens seem to have a disproportionate amount of fucking lunatics, but I'm unqualified to say how many are literal psychopaths. I remember reading about a neuropsychologist who was using MRI or something equivalent to link certain brain structures with psychopathy. The results were promising, and there seemed to be strong correlation between patients diagnosed with psychopathic disorder and malformation, degradation of specific regions of the brain. This could serve as a diagnostic aid, in that people who exhibited similar degradation may be at greater risk for the disorder. One of his colleagues asked if he had tested it on himself, and he hadn't. So, just to humor his colleague, the doctor that developed the analysis had a scan done of his own brain and checked the designated regions. He had the degradation associated with psychopathic disorder. And his colleague basically said, "I'm a little surprised, but not very surprised." Unofficially, influencers and politicians. Look at the behavior of influencers and you'll see what I mean. I want to say about a third of security guards are batshit crazy. Politicians. Evangelical large congregation leader dude like Danny McBride in Righteous Gemstones. Those guys. Pyramid schemes. Networking. Aren't prison guards, at least in USA, high on the list? I think everyone on here is just telling us what they do. My understanding of this topic is that it's generally professions where empathy can get in the way. And being able to turn it off can help them get the job done. So things like CEOs, lawyers, PR, police and surgeons. Psychopathy is a statistical entity, not a diagnosis. Being a psychopath doesn't necessarily make you a bad or evil person either. Many of them learn that antisocial behaviors harm them overall and rationally choose not to engage in them. Politician. Slaughterhouse worker. Correlations were proven by studies in different countries. That job takes a toll on human mind and increases homicide rate. Surgeon is a reminder that psychopathy can be pretty useful to society because sometimes humanity really needs people who can dispassionately root around in other people's organs without really giving a shit. We just need to stop putting those people in charge all the time. Loan sharks. Brain surgeons, heart surgeons, basically any kind of critical surgeon. Reddit admin. Therapists. I don't know if it's necessarily sociopaths, but there's something off there. This is coming from someone who goes to therapy and is very much content and happy with my therapist, and she has helped me through some seriously dark times. Even she admits there are a lot of bizarre therapists out there. My mom is an amazing therapist, but when her therapist mode is turned off, it's like a whole different person. Investing, specifically sales side. You should read Kevin Dutton's The Wisdom of Psychopaths. Quoting his Wikipedia, in his 2011 Great British Psychopath Survey, he concluded that the 10 professions that have the highest proportion of psychopaths are CEOs, lawyers, media people, TV and radio, salespeople, surgeons, journalists, police officers, clergy, chefs, civil servants. According to recent studies, the profession that attracts psychopaths the most are 1. CEO, 2. Lawyer, 3. Media, television, radio, and overwhelmingly, most politicians are former attorneys. So attorneys would cover politicians as well. See developers, for sure. CEO and high-level managers. There was a documentary about the guy who pioneered the scans. A mix of charisma and ruthlessness left them predisposed to be leaders of industry. Investment banking. People who join the military with the intention that they will kill people. Wood shop teacher, hands down. They all crazy. Surgeons. Same power over life, death, but better pay and less prison. Surgeon. Will never understand how they can operate on someone without feeling sick. Surgeons. I mean, come on. They want to cut people up, and get paid to do it. I think there are a lot of them among lawyers. Where a lot of them have to balance, so to speak, supposedly good and dubious evil. Lobbyists. Can't believe I'm the first to say this one. Traders. Investors. Wall Street types, I would assume. Patrick Bateman type MFs. Putting aside my issues with the diagnostic criteria and use of the psychopathy checklist. The guy who developed it, Dr. Robert Hare, wrote a book around 15 years ago called Snakes in Suits, which looked at psychopathy masked in workplaces and environments they thrive in. It was mostly looking at very corporate and cutthroat industries, as many of the traits that make crime easier or more beneficial also translate to these environments, such as charm, manipulation, leading things their way, ruthless decisions, and a fast pace. Some of these traits, to a lesser degree, are helpful in many professions but hugely helpful in sales, finance, legal, and business settings.